𝘿𝑝𝑒𝑚 and good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Welcome to the weekly Sunday Pūjā in Unison and Dimension Online, an initiative of the 𝓟𝓷𝓷 Buddhist Council of Malaysia and hosted by MSBS and DBV. Today is the 17th of March, 2024. To begin today's puja, I shall now pass it over to Sister Lily.
Sister Cheng.
Sister Cheng to begin today's puja.
Thank you, Brother Terence. Namo Buddhaya. A very good morning to all the brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. It is great that we can come together today for our morning puja to review our precept and to stay through a brief Dhamma sharing. Let us compose our minds and reflect on the significance of virtual offerings that we shall make with full respect to our blessed teacher, the Buddha. Let us begin with the offering of lights. So may we offer these candles burning brightly out of deep respect and veneration to our enlightened masters, the Buddha. May these lights symbolically guide us to the light of the Dhamma, which dispels the darkness of greed with the light of generosity, the gloominess of hatred with the light of love, and the darkness of ignorance with the light of wisdom through the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Offering of joss sticks and incense. May we offer these joss sticks and incense out of deep respect and veneration to our blessed master, the Buddha. May the fragrance of these joss sticks and incense be pleasing unto the gods and Deva. May our good deeds be like the fragrance of the joss sticks, cultivating compassion, patience, tolerance, understanding, and love towards all living beings. Offering of water. May we offer this water to symbolize our aspiration to cultivate the virtues of calmness, clarity, and purity. Let it remind us to diligently cleanse ourselves of our spiritual defilements and delusion through the cultivation of generosity, compassion, and wisdom. Offering of flowers. These flowers, too, we offer out of deep respect and gratitude to our compassionate masters, the Buddha. These flowers, sweet, beautiful, and choice, are clustered at the feet of our noble master. Beautiful as they are now, they will soon, with the passing of time, will fade and be casted away, reflecting thus on this very nature of unsatisfactoriness, impermanence, and soullessness. Let us tread the path shown by the Buddha for the eradication of sufferings here and now. Brothers and sisters, to begin this morning's puja, let us pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha by saying sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamadattana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho viccarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta deva manussanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandittiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanayiko Paccatang Vedittabbo Vinyuhiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyāyapatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Cattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakkineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyaketang Lokasati
Vandami cetiyang sabbang sabbathane supatittithang 𝓤𝓾𝓷𝓷 mahabodhing Buddha rupang sakalang sada Yassamule nisinova sabbari vijayang aka patto sabbanyutang sattha Vande tang bodhipadapang ime ete mahabodhi 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 pujita ahang pite namassami bodhiraja namattute ganasarappaditthena dīpena tamadang sina 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang ganda sambara yuttena dupena hang sugandina pujaye pujaniyang tang puja bhajana muttamang adivase tu no bante paniyang parikappitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang adivase tu no bante bojanang parikappitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang adivase tu no bante kilana paccaya imang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang vannaganda guno petang etang kusuma santating pujayami muning dassa siripada saroruhe pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena metena cahotu mokkang puppang milayati yatha idang me kayo tathayati vinasa bawang akha satta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chiram rakhantu lokasasanang akha satta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chiram rakhantu desanang akha satta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chiram rakhantu mamperanti devo vassatu khalena sasampatti hetu ca pito bhavatu loko ca raja bhavatu dhammiko idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanitbana pattiya kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang accayang kamame bante puripanya tathagata kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang accayang kamame dhamma sandittika akalika kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang accayang kamame sangga supatipanna anuttara
Karaniya matta kusalena yantang santang padang abhisamecca sakko uju ca suju ca suvaco ca samudu anatimani santus sakko ca subaro ca apakicco ca sallavka butti santin triyo ca nipako ca appagappo kulesu ananugitto nacakutam samacare kinci yena vinyu pare upavadeyum sukino va kemino hontu sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta ye kecipana bhutat ติตัสสาวาทาวาราวานาวเสสาดีกาวาเยมหันตาวามัจจิมารัสสคานุกัตุลาติทาวาเยวะอัตติทาเยชดูเรวสันติอวิดูเรภูทาวาสัมภเวสีวาสัพเพสัตตาภวันตุสุขิตัตตานาปาโรปรัมนิคุปเปธานาติมัญเยตกัตตชินังคันจิยาโรสนาปฏิกสัญญานายมัญญสดุขมิจเชยมาทายธานิยังพุทธัมอายุสาเอกพุทธมนุรักเกเอวัมปิสัพพะบูเตสุมาลสัมบาวะเยอปาริมาณังเมตตัญจะสัพพะโลกัสมิงมาลสัมบาวะเยอปาริมาณังอุดดังอโดจติริยันเจอสัมปาดัมอเวรัมอสปัตตังติตังจารังนิสินโนวาสยาโนวายาวตัสสวิกตมิตโตเอตังสติมอดิตเตยาบรหมเมตัมวิหารัมอิดามาหูอิตินเชอนุปกัมมสีลวาดัสสเนนะสัมปันโนกาเมสุวินเนยเกดัมนาหิจาตุกัตตะเสยัมปุนาเรติติเอเตนะสัจจวัจเจนะโสติเตโหตุสัพพดาเอเตนะสัจจวัจเจนะโสติเตโหตุสัพพดาเอเตนะสัจจวัจเจนะโสติเตโหตุสัพพดาสาธุสาธุสาธุ Thank you, Sir Cheng, Sir Doris, for today's Sunday Pūjā chanting. Back with us today, we have Bro Leng Huat to share on happiness is not a destination. Let's hear where Bro Leng Huat want to bring us today. Over to you, Bro Leng Huat.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. A very good morning and welcome all viewers. Before we begin, I need to dedicate all the Maries that we have accrued from chanting the puja, and also the Maries that we will accrue from the Dhamma sharing. We'll dedicate this Maries for the well-being of our Madam 𝘿𝙖𝙢𝙖𝙢, mother of Dr. Wu. Dr. Wu has requested for transfer the Maries, and may she recover quickly from her ailment. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we will actually, when I chose this title called Happiness is Not a Destination, it coincided actually, right? Coincided with actually the UN. UN has actually adopted a resolution which decreed that the International Day of Happiness to be on 20th of March. So actually kind of coincide on this week. So it coincides with the International Day of Happiness. So we'll talk about happiness. Again, of course, this is part of my series of happiness, which is a very long series. And all along, we've been trying to show you that it is not a destination. We keep on continuing the journey. It is not a destination. It is a journey, actually. So now, when we ask our friends, what will make you happy? Of course, they always say $1 million, correct? $1 million, or you win the lottery, that will make us happy. So, okay, yeah, agreed. Yes, agreed. And then all talk about windfall and lottery, but if you ask some of these big bosses, and they will tell you, I hope they have more time will make them happy. Because they're so busy making money that they don't have time to enjoy their money. So they will say that, okay, fine. More time make me happy. For us, more money makes us happy. So you see, The challenge with this kind of thinking, the problem is this kind of thinking is a challenge for us because we always think happiness has become a destination. We think that when we have more money, that is happiness. And for those people with a lot of money, and they think that if they have more time, that is happiness. So this has become a norm, a habitual. Of course, in this IT language, we say it has become our default mode. Every time talk happiness, money. So it has become our default mode. You'll find constantly, we find ourselves constantly chasing happiness because it's always associated with something or someday, correct? Or whatever or whenever. That is our problem. So we set our goals. We set our goals that, when I win the lottery, or when I buy a house, then that is my happiness. Or when I retire, that is my happiness. So we set target for happiness when actually we overlook. And this kind of target goes on and on and on. It never stops. Correct. This target has never stopped because when you have a house and you probably want to have a second house, correct? Or you have a bigger house. So our target moves. The goalposts keep moving for us. So it is a target, so it becomes a target. But what we are seeing today, that is not a destination because we must remember that we must enjoy the journey, the journey that takes us there. We must learn to enjoy. We must remember to enjoy the journey or the path for this search for this goal, for the search of this goal. Correct. So this is our main constraint. So now, when we travel this journey, we must also enjoy this journey. Now, don't forget, we try to enjoy this journey as we travel. Travel to the destination where we have set. You have said Nibbana, go ahead, but must enjoy the journey to Nibbana, Okay, never mind, we'll come to that later. So what does this mean? In short, what am I trying to say? What does this mean? This means that we all must live in the present. Let's not forget, we have to live in the present, enjoy the present. Don't just think that we have to struggle and struggle and struggle and just enjoy the destination. No. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the path that leads you to the destination. Because the destination keep on changing. The posts keep on changing. Okay? So let's enjoy that part. Let's appreciate what we have today. The things that we overlook most, is actually, I will demonstrate to you. Never mind. I will do some short screen sharing for you to see the things that we overlook most in our life. When we talk about happiness, we overlook at this. Let me see if I can share to you. Okay, I want to demonstrate to you what is this all about. You can see now. You see, this is taken from Dhammapada verse 204. This is what we overlook most when we talk about happiness. 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪𝔂 means health is the highest gain. Don't forget. Physical well-being. This is actually our physical well-being. So this is overlooked most. Remember, Santutti paramang danang. Contentment is the greatest wealth. This is again being overlooked as our mental well-being. Okay? Visasa paramanyati, the trusted one are the best relatives. That's social well-being. And Nibbanang paramang sukhang. Nibbana is the highest bliss. Okay, spiritual well-being. So this is what we want to say. We have overlooked at the very important aspect of happiness. We set our target, but don't forget this is happiness for us. The fact that we are healthy today, that is kind of happiness that people, sometimes there are many people who envy us for being healthy, because people are, when they're not healthy. You can have all the money you have, but if you're not healthy, you're not fit to enjoy that money, it means nothing, correct? You may have a nice SUV to drive. Again, if you don't have the fitness, the health to drive, it doesn't make any difference. Huh? You can have a big, nice bungalow, but you don't have the health, you might be staying in the hospital also, correct? So now we remember, as we continue our journey, we must remember health is our highest gain or the highest happiness. We should be happy that we are healthy. And that is what we are trying to say, that we must live in the present. Live in the present, huh? Okay? We are reminded here that most people don't realize that having all the money, all the love, and all the spiritual joy in the world would mean nothing if one is sick. Correct? This is a physical happiness we are blessed with today. So that is happiness. Correct? Forget your target, forget your destination. There is no destination because this is where we. So what is this physical happiness? Physical health is the basic requirement for happiness. This is the basic requirement for happiness. It is the top singular factor that makes us all the other three relevant. For how could you drive your latest model of SUV? Like I've said, you have a romance, gorgeous love. How can you enjoy when you are ill and weak and suffering? Right? So our physical happiness, physical well-being will affect our financial and also our emotional, our spiritual happiness. More than most people realize. Many people do not realize that sometimes our health is an envy to others. Okay? So now, that is what we are trying to focus on today. We are saying that this physical happiness, enjoy the journey, live in the present. In the present is our health. Okay? So when we pursue our happiness, let it be material or spiritual. That is after you have achieved all this, right? When you know and you realize you're living in the present, then what do? We must also not forget our loved ones, our loved ones. Don't forget your parents, your wife, your spouse, your family. Right? So if you refer to 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪𝔂 Sutta, 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪, I don't think I have it on my little screen to share with you. 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪, it says here also, in the 5 ways, young householder, a child should minister his parents first. And we minister our parents in the East. I'm just trying to interpret the meaning of all these things that you have learned before, things that we know. 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 Sutta, this is called 𝓤𝓾𝓷𝓷 Sutta. So it says in the East, because I'm sure you know the story of 𝓤𝓾𝓷𝓷 Sutta. I will not tell you that story. I will not give you the introduction. It takes a lot of time. Time is quite limited. Normally we focus on only 20 to 30 minutes on Sundays. So now, when we want to respect our parents, we face the East. Meaning what? Meaning that having supported me, I shall support them. That's gratitude. Don't forget, gratitude to your parents. So that is happiness. We are able to support them, and we should be happy. Right? Whatever we can support them with, we should be happy. That is living in the present. I shall do their duties now that our parents are old. We tell them, never mind, you relax, I will do your business. They're running business, we help them to run their business. If not, we tell them, you retire, I work. I will take over your duties to provide, to be the provider of the house. Correct? So that is one way where you enjoy the present, and that is happiness. So when we focus on respecting our parents, we tell them that having supported me when I was young, I am happy now to be able to support you. I shall do your duties. I shall run your business for you. I shall be the provider now. You relax and retire. We tell them, I shall keep the family traditions. I shall do all those cultural practices for you. You just watch and guide me. We tell them that, and that is happiness, we're able to do. Happiness not to us, happiness to them, to see that we are able to do this. And then we say that I shall make myself worthy of your inheritance. We tell them that your inheritance now, I am worthy of it. So they'll be very proud of you, they'll be very proud of you. And that is happiness. We are able to tell them, able to repay them, and then tell them that I will offer alms in honor of my departed relatives. They have been doing this all their lives. Now that they are retired, tell them, I take over, I shall do all this for you. So these 5 duties you do. And that is in the 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪𝓪 Sutta. And then we face the east and we do that. And then that will make them happy. And that is happiness. And that happiness is to be enjoyed in this moment. Don't wait until they are no more around. Correct? So please, you read up on the 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 Sutta. If those of you are not familiar, I'm just reinterpreting for you to understand it better. Okay? And then the 5 ways, then in the 5 ways, our parents will be very happy and they will show us more compassion. They restrain from evil. When we are responsible people, they will refrain from evil. That kind of happiness. They say, okay, now I don't have to do this for so this is the good. If they are gamblers, they play mahjong, they study, okay, my children, all like that, and I will avoid, I will follow them to temple. Things like that, we help them. Okay? And then they encourage them to do good. They encourage them to do good. And they train them for a profession. They arrange a suitable marriage. Okay, this is what they have done for us. Sorry, this is what they have done for us. They have taught us to refrain from evil. They have taught us to do good. They have taught us they have actually financed us for our education. Give us a good profession, and they have also sometimes, in the good old days, these marriages are all being arranged, but today may not be applicable, but still you need the approval, don't forget. So they will give us all this kind of, they have given us this benefit. And then at the proper time, they will hand over the inheritance to us. So we have proven to them that we are worthy of the inheritance. This is living for today. Living in the present. Okay, so we tell you living in the present, we can follow the 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 Sutta, what it says. It is about living in the present. That brings a lot of happiness for us. It is not that destination. Okay. Now we also can talk about 𝓿𝓚𝓖𝙢𝙢𝙖 Sutta. You see, as the Buddha taught us spiritual well-being, the Buddha did not overlook at this kind of living in the present. Telling us that we Pujanas, we lay people, we can enjoy this flow of life. Right? Okay, then in the 𝓿𝓚𝓖𝙢𝙢𝙖 Sutta, the Buddha taught us the 4 qualities that leads to layman's happiness and well-being in this life. The Buddha says, yes, you lay people also, you can also enjoy life and have happiness by what? Being consummate in initiative, being consummate in vigilance. That means you must always be on your toes, be vigilant in initiative. Always be initiative. You also must be vigilant in your consummate, and then be vigilant in your friendship and livelihood in tune. Your livelihood must be in tune. Because the Buddha taught us all this, and this is all living in the present. So I'm trying to define to you, okay? So briefly, okay, in the Mangala Sutta also the Buddha says, when people are confused with what is happiness, what is blessings, So Lord Saka sent a Deva to meet the Buddha to ask the Buddha what is the meaning of all these happiness and blessings that people talk about. And the Buddha actually enumerated 38 blessings in the Mangala Sutta. So if you know Mangala Sutta, you can see that among which I focus on is Mata Pitu Upattanam. That is actually to revere, to respect your parents. Okay, so that is very important. Mata Pitu Upattanam Puttadara Sasanggaho Anakula Cekam Manta Etang Mangala Muttamang. The support of father and mother. The cherishing of wife and children. Don't forget, the Buddha focuses on your parents, focuses on your wife, your spouse, and your children, and peaceful occupation. Okay, and this is a supreme happiness. Okay, supreme blessings. Okay, there is no way to happiness. It has been said sometimes. So people say there's no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Correct. So life is always be filled with challenges. Don't forget, our life is always filled with challenges. The 8 vicissitudes of life. To practice upekkha and to be unwavering or to stay neutral in the face of the 8 vicissitudes, which are otherwise known as the 8 worldly winds. We also call it the 8 worldly winds, or the 8 worldly conditions, loss and gain. Now life is like that. There's loss, there's gain, a good repute. Sometimes people blame you, ill repute, praise and censure. People praise you today, then they will censure you the next day. And then there is sorrow, there's happiness. So this is called the 𝓟𝓾𝓷𝓷𝓷. So these kind of things that we must understand that happiness is, there is no way to happiness like that, but the happiness is the way. We must know that we are living in this kind of conditions. So we must overcome this problem, and the shaping of this future, we must enjoy. We must find happiness in this. Okay? And then we say that we can learn from the past. Of course, we say living in the present does not mean you cannot remember the past. No, we always stress on this point. You can learn from the past. Who says we cannot? We can learn from the past. Shape the future. Of course, we plan for the future, but we live in the present moment. So remember, the present moment. And present moment, again, we will focus a lot on the present moment, where there's nothing but to understand the purpose of the present moment. Our whole life is a succession of moments after moments. Remember, whole life is about moments after moments after moments. So if one could understand the present moment, then there will be nothing left to be done and nothing else to pursue. Right? So we must always remember, this is our life. Okay? So now, from the Buddhist perspective again, the Buddhist perspective, in order for us to understand happiness, the 8 vicissitudes again, we say we understand happiness, then there must be sadness. Correct? If there's no sadness, there's no happiness. So we must understand the 8 vicissitudes. We must have sadness in life. This is part of our life. We can overcome them. So the happiness in life, our happy lives cannot be without darkness. Correct? The happy world will lose its meaning if there's no sadness. Correct? Like what we say, when you go to the Deva realm, sometimes it can be dangerous because everybody is happy, 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 happy. There's no sadness, that they forget about cultivating themselves more. Correct? When we don't see sadness, we don't cultivate. So this is part of our happiness, that we have an opportunity. When we face the 8 vicissitudes in life, it is an opportunity for us to practice. And that part of that flow, part of that path, that is happiness. Okay? So again, we say in conclusion, happiness is a journey, not a destination. It is a state of mind. It is a state of mind that comes from within. We always say that, that the happiness comes from within. I'm sure we have explained to you. I've spoken to you on this, but I will not elaborate much. But remember, happiness is from within. When we focus on cultivating happiness in our everyday lives, rather than achieving external goals, we will find happiness is always within our reach. Happiness is not a privileged thing for the rich. Happiness is within everybody's reach. It is everybody's right to be happy. Yes, sometimes we do feel that it is a privilege to be happy. People have a lot of powers, a lot of status, a lot of privileges, a lot of riches, and we think they are happy. But no. Okay, so again, here we remember, we say that happiness is not like that. It doesn't come from without, doesn't come from external influence, it's from within. We will demonstrate to you this later. Okay, so focus cultivating happiness in our everyday life rather than achieving external goals. We find that happiness is always within our reach. So the moment to appreciate the journey and enjoy small moments of joy along the way. So why wait? Enjoy the experience now. Okay, what do you mean by accident? By this happiness is from within? I have actually related this parable before. You see, if you notice, if you have dogs at home, or never mind, if you go to your friend's house with dogs, or you go anywhere, you see dogs. You see dogs, they'll be scratching and scratching. Correct? They will go to another corner and scratch and scratch and scratch. And they cannot be satisfied. They find another nice corner and they scratch and scratch and scratch. What do you think is in their mind? They think that that corner causes them to be itchy. Correct? And they move to another corner. And they find it's still itchy. They keep on stretching. I think that corner causes them to be itchy. They move to another corner and they come scratching again. They forgot that that itchiness is from their body. Correct? If they move from north to south to east to west, also itchy because the body is itchy. So that is a nice parable to understand that. Sometimes that happiness is from within. Yeah. Those of you who have dogs, we've seen a lot of dogs on the street. They will be sitting in one corner, scratching. They're not happy. They go to the next corner and they scratch and scratch and scratch. I went to our sister Doris temple in Seremban before. And there are a lot of dogs there, yeah. I see the dogs in the, they will be in the sitting room with us and they'll be scratching in one corner. And this reminds us of the parable, scratching in one corner, then the dog will move to another corner, scratch again there. You know, so they think that that corner caused them to be itchy, but actually the itch is from within. So that is why we are saying that this is from within. And also, and maybe I shall read to you a little bit on the 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪𝓭. 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪𝓭 Sutta, an auspicious day. This is where we want to define to you what do you mean. The Buddha has actually specified to you what do you mean by living in the present. The Buddha has specified to us about living in the present and not about future and the past. I don't know. Okay, maybe I shall go through a little bit on the sutta. But basically, what the Buddha says here is that, and how, I will just take an excerpt from the sutta, and how is one taken in with regard to present qualities? There is the case where an uninstructed run-of-the-mill person, any person who does not know the Dhamma, uninstructed run-of-the-mill person who has not seen the noble ones and not versed in the teachings of the noble one, is not trained in the teachings of the noble one. So these are the people who don't live in the present, because the Buddha says he sees form as self. Maybe I shall do the introduction a little bit more, in case I don't think many of you have read this sutta, An Auspicious Day. Okay, and how does one not chase after the past? This question was asked to the Buddha. How was one not chase after the past? One does not get carried away with the delight of the past. I had such a form in the past. I had such a feeling in the past. I had such a perception in the past. I had such a thought fabrication in the past. In the past, I have such a consciousness. This is called chasing after the past. We always look for the past. And a lot of people will live in the past glory also. That's why living in the past. Yes, maybe in the past, we got very nice, glorious past, but stop living in the past. Okay? So that's what the Buddha says. And how does one place expectations on the future? And again here, how do you place expectation in the future? They ask the Buddha. When the Buddha says we live in the present. So the Buddha says one gets carried away with the delight of, in the future, I might have such a form. In the future, I might have such a feeling. Be planning future maybe the future I become more handsome Future maybe I become more rich I become more happy So we think like that In the future, I may such a perception and in future I have such a consciousness. So we are thinking of the future. So this is again the Buddha says no. And how does one not place expectations on the future? One does not get carried away with the delight of the future. I might have such a form in future. I might have such a feeling in future. I might have such a perception in the future. I might have such a thought fabrication in the future. I may have such a consciousness. This is called not placing expectation in the future. So don't place expectation in the future. And what does the Buddha say here? And how is one taken in with regard to the present qualities? There is the case where one is uninstructed, run-of-the-mill person. Like I told you just now, run-of-the-mill person, people who are not trained by the Buddha, and who have not seen the Noble One, not well-versed with the teachings of the Noble One, and not trained in the teachings of the Noble One. He or she's formed as self. We see that that form is very important to us. We see that form is very important. We take care a lot of form. We take care of this body so much. Okay. These or self as possession, as possessing form, or form as in self and self as in form. That means we believe that this form is us. And we care so much of this form. Okay, so that the Buddha said that that is not right lah. How about not living in the disease form and feeling as self? Also, they think the feeling is very important. They think feeling is self. Then the Buddha said that is again is not right. That feeling as self or self as possessing feeling, or feeling as in self or self as in feeling. I think I will not go through too much of this. It might bother some people, become very, very bored. Okay, I just go through the points here. Perception as self, we think our perception is important, that is our self, which is only our perception, okay? And we think that our thought fabrication, that we always make a lot of thoughts. So this is also self, and we think that our consciousness is self. So this is not, the Buddha says, as long as we see that we do not see form as self, we do not see feeling as self, we do not see perception as self, we do not see thought fabrication as self, or does not see consciousness as self, okay? And this is called not being taken with regards to the, okay, so this is what we say, we are not taken into the kind of scenario whereby we are so attached to this five aggregates actually I'm sorry if I go too briefly on this, because I don't think I have time to go through this Okay, but for those of you who have understood the five aggregates will understand Okay, so anyway, I would like to also to quickly cover this for you. What the Buddha says in that sutta about living in the present. You shouldn't chase, okay, remember this, this is about living in the present. The Buddha said you shouldn't chase after the past or place expectation on the future. Okay, what is past is left behind. The future is yet unreached. You left your grandparents behind, your great-grandparents behind. Maybe for my case, my parents are also no more with me. Don't harbor over it anymore. You shouldn't chase after the past, the Buddha says. Okay? What is past is left behind. The future is yet unreached. Whatever quality is present, you clearly see right there. Not taken in, unshaken, and how you develop the heart, ardently doing. And what should be done today? This is important again. What do you mean by the Buddha says living in the present? And what should be done today? For one who knows tomorrow is death. What has to be done today must be done today. Don't leave it behind for tomorrow. Don't leave it behind for the future. Live in the present. What you can do and achieve today, you do and achieve today. For tomorrow is uncertain. That's what the Buddha says. So live in the present. Yeah. So there is no bargaining with mortality and its mighty horde. Okay. Whosoever lives thus ardently, relentlessly, both day and night, has truly had an auspicious day. if you do this, and you definitely have a very happy day. That's what the Buddha says. So says the peaceful sage. Monks, I will teach you the summary and exposition of one who has had an auspicious day. Thus it was said, and in reference to this, it was said that is what the Blessed One said. Gratified the monk, delighted with the Blessed One's words. Okay, so that is living in the present. Now the Buddha says, don't harbor in the past. Don't harbor your thoughts too much in the past. Don't cling too much to the past, and don't plan too much for the future and live in the future and thinking that you're going to pass your exam, you're going to be a successful businessman in the future. You work today and enjoy today. Okay, that's what the Buddha says. What has been done today must be done today, for tomorrow is uncertain. That is what the Buddha says. I have changed my format a bit this morning. I have changed this format of sharing this morning because I had this wonderful message from one gentleman or lady, I'm not sure, who sent me when they saw that I was talking about this happiness as not a destination. They sent me this small article, and I would like to share with you. So they told me this. There is a story when 𝘠𝙗𝙖𝙢𝙖𝙢𝙖𝙎𝙝𝙖, that is Ajahn Chah, when he went to England many years ago, he has a center in England set up by Sumedho. When he sent Sumedho there, Sumedho was very concerned. He says, how to survive in England? I go there on my own, You see, Ajahn Chah is actually a very, his teaching is very profound. And that's why I reshuffle my own words, and then I use his words again, so that, because we can never be as profound as he is, Ajahn Chah, So again, like you an example, that when he sent Sumedho to UK, set up a center, Sumedho was skeptical, Since if I go there, I may not be able to survive, Dhamma, because you see, their culture, Ajahn Chah's people's culture is they go for alms, for food, So he says, if I go to London now, going around the streets for alms, whether I can survive or not, correct? But I'm not familiar with their culture, correct? So Ajahn Chah told him, are there no generous people in London? So that kind of strike him. I say, betul juga lah. How come I cannot survive in London, So he ventured lah. He went alone, and then he ventured, and they were very successful. They have a very nice center there now. So Ajahn Chah went to visit the center. And of course, the Mahayanis will ask him this question. Yeah, when Ajahn Chah went there was one Mahayanis, and he asked this question. Okay. He says, he asked 𝘠𝙗𝙖𝙢𝙖𝙢𝙖 a question regarding the Dhamma. Okay. He asked Venerable, is it better to practice to become a pra-arahant? Is it better to be an arahant or to be a bodhisattva? The Mahayana's concept is bodhisattva. The Theravada is arahant. Okay? For those who are not familiar, it's like that. We believe that we will become an arahant when we are enlightened. When we work very hard, we follow the teachings of the Buddha, we practice, we become an arahant. The Mahayanas have got the bodhisattva vows, and then they work very hard to become a bodhisattva. So which is better? He asked Ajahn Chah. So Ajahn Chah, which is better? Which path is more noble? Okay, whether to be an arahant or to be a bodhisattva. Okay, or bodhisattva lah. Our pronunciation in Pali is bodhisattva. Okay, in Sanskrit, we call it bodhisattva, and commonly used is bodhisattva. Okay, so we use the common term bodhisattva. And then Ajahn Chah replied, 𝘠𝙗𝙖𝙢𝙖𝙢𝙖 replied, it is better not to do anything. Okay? It is better not to be anything. Don't go and become a pra-arahant. Don't try to become a pra-bodhisattva either. You don't have to think or want to be a Buddha too. Okay, don't think of being an arahant or don't think of being a bodhisattva. That's what Ajahn Chah says. And also don't think of being a Buddha. If you want to become, Ajahn Chah says, if you want to become something, you will suffer. So if you are a good person, no matter where you go, you will feel disheartened and experience dissatisfaction. Why? If you think you are a good person, you want to be a good person, you go out, there are a lot of bad people. Correct? There are more bad people than good people outside, So you become very frustrated, he says. You will always want to comment on people. You are not right, you are not right, you are not right. You're self-righteous. Okay? So that is what you shouldn't be, he says. So Achancha says, if you want to become something, you will suffer. You don't even need to become a good person. Once you are a good person, you will start to get annoyed by bad people. Nowadays, there are more bad people than good ones. So if you are a good person, no matter where you go, you feel disheartened and experience dissatisfaction. So that is what Achancha said. If you want to be a good person and you go out and you see everybody is bad, you also tak boleh tahan also lah. Correct? So then Achancha continued. It's just like that lah, which I completely agree with him. He says just like that. Now, I put it in my own experience. This is what Achancha says. I was a smoker before, okay? Although I quit smoking some 24 years ago, correct? And when you first quit smoking, what was the feeling like? When you see people smoking, you say that fella is stupid lah. Correct? It's not easy to give up, But to get hooked to smoking is easy, but to give up is very difficult. So that's how you feel. You feel that you are so righteous that you gave up smoking. Wow, then everybody else is stupid to be smoking. So that's what he says. So don't be attached to goodness. You see, so you think you're a good person, you stop smoking, you're good. So Achancha said, don't be attached to goodness, because attachment is suffering. Don't forget. The cause of suffering is attachment, the third noble truth. Don't forget. So we must enjoy life like that. So Achancha says, yes, you be self-righteous, you are attached to goodness. And remember, attachment is the third noble truth, the cause of suffering, and you will be suffering. Right? So that's what Achancha says. So don't be attached even if it is to goodness, because attachment is suffering. Do good because we love goodness, and don't do it to become a good person. If you become a good person, then you will suffer. What does that mean? You see, we always say that you want to do good, it must be like a reflex, Correct? In other words, I'm going to explain now. You take a feather. Feather has no life. A feather has no life. Correct? The feather feels no pain. Correct? You can see my hand, Okay. You put a feather near a flame. Correct? What will happen? The feather will bend. Oh, sorry, it will bend away. I put like that. So the feather will bend away. Correct? Not because the feather feels the pain, but it's a reflex. So it is a flame, and I put a feather, and the feather will just, correct? Not because of the pain. So you want to be a good person, you mustn't have that goodness. You must learn to do good, just do it as a reflex. Don't be self-righteous, in short. So you do it as a reflex, then you won't be suffering. Because if you are too attached to good, then you will suffer. When people you think people not doing right, everything is not right. Because there are more bad people than good people. So that's what Achancha says. Wait, okay. So he says like that. So I've explained to you a little bit more that you must do good, not because you like to do good, but just do it for a reflex. You do Dhamma because you know it is, it is good. You practiced long time ago. When you see that you need to give Dhamma, you just give. Not because giving Dhamma is good, not because giving Dhamma is meritorious. Give, then that is how you should go. Then when people don't give, you don't feel, yeah, he got more money, so never give, I only must give. You don't feel like that. So because you're not attached to good. Because if you're attached to being a good person, you will also suffer. So that is what Achancha said. So here again, we remember, it is reinforcing the point that the happiness is a state of mind that comes from within. Okay. Okay, then here we conclude that here, if you can realize that we can conclude here that this happiness, happiness is not a luxury. Correct? Happiness is not a luxury, not something regular folks cannot enjoy. We must discard this idea that happiness is only for the lucky people, the rich people, the beautiful people. We must discard this idea that happiness is for the lucky, the beautiful, and the rich. The rest of us are just trying to get through the day. No. Every day is a blessed day as long as we remain healthy. And that was the beginning that we say we follow Dhammapada 204. Okay. And so with that, I think I will conclude the sharing. Although I've taken a little bit extra of your time. So remember, we are saying that 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪𝓂 Paramalabha, health is the highest aim. There's of physical happiness. And Santutti Paramang Danang, contentment, the Buddha says, is the greatest wealth. Again, here is called mental well-being. Visasa Paramanyati, the trusted are the best relatives. That is our social well-being. And Nibbanang Paramang Sukhang. Nibbana is the highest bliss, spiritual bliss. Before I forget, so this is another thing that I like to add in, that sometimes when we pursue this kind of spiritual happiness, when we pursue that what Achancha said, when we pursue this spiritual happiness, we must not discard our family. We must not discard our mother, our father. If we have dependents, we should not discard them. We must always honor, and gratitude is the first basic quality in Buddhism. We must look after our parents. Don't say that, oh, I must pursue my spiritual well-being first. I know of cases where people just neglect their parents because they want to pursue their spiritual well-being. They spend a lot of time in retreats and not looking after their parents, their mothers or their parents at home. The poor lady at home has nothing too much to eat, no dependent, and she has to go out and help some other charitable societies, help them to cook, and then there she gets a meal. So we must not allow this to happen, because then this is talking about living too much in the future. We talk about living in the present. You must first look after the obligation to your responsibility to your parents. Mata pitu upatanang 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 𝓎𝑠angho anakulacakam manta etang mangala mutamang. So with that, I say thank you again. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Over to you, brother.
Thank you very much, Bro Tan Leng Huat, for today's sharing. With those abundance merits that we accrued, we'll dedicate those merits to all beings and seeing and unseen. And to Brother Dr. 𝘿𝙗𝖖𝙢𝓢𝓖𝙢𝓖.
No, Dr. 𝘿𝙗𝖖𝙢𝓢𝓖𝙢, mother, Madam 𝑘𝑒𝑒𝑒, yeah.
Okay, Madam 𝑘𝑒𝑒𝑒.
Madam 𝑘𝑒𝑒𝑒,
Akasatha ca Bhummata Devanaga Mahitika Punyang Tam Anumoditva Chiram Rakkantu Loka Sasanang Etawata ca Amhehi Sampadang Punya Sampadang Sabbe Deva Sabbe Bhuta Sabbe Satta Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. And finally, aspirations. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo Satang samagamo hotu yawa nibbana pattiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone for watching. For other videos, please visit the links below. Bye bye for now.